YouTube, how's it going? Frogs Angels is back with some more NFL team by team predictions. And we're using this website, playoffpredictors.com, to do it. Great website, link in the description. Go check it out, make your own predictions. Very cool website. But we're going through all the teams, division by division. We're on to the AFC West teams, starting with the Denver Broncos. We're going to keep ripping through AFC West, NFC West. Then we'll have playoffs. I'll predict the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl eventually. And then, we're going to get a couple of our guys, Frogs Angels guys, on board and make their predictions. You guys been hating on my picks for the most part, I feel like. So, which is expected. I expected it. So we're going to get some other guys to make their predictions. A little bit different perspective. Maybe it'll make some people happy. So then everyone's happy. So we'll get through that. And then during the year, weekly NFL pick'ems. Can't wait for the season to start. But we're talking Denver Broncos today. Let's talk about the Broncos. Case Keenum, new quarterback, heck of a year last year for the Vikings. Some people wondering, will it be Vikings quarterback Case Keenum or will it be pre-Vikings quarterback Case Keenum? What style of play? How much talent are we going to get out of Case Keenum? What is he going to bring to the table? I'm thinking in between the two. I like Case Keenum a lot. Maybe he doesn't have the weapons that he had from Minnesota. But, not far off, really. The Broncos did a great job drafting wide receivers. They still have Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders is in there, and they're very talented. Cortland Sutton, loved the pick. Sean Hamilton, I like the pick a lot there, too. I think he'll be used more than people expect, actually. He's just a guy you can just plug and play. He can get open. So, Keenum's in a better situation on the Broncos than Simeon was a year ago. And Keenum is better than Simeon, too. So, pretty good situation, but how much are we going to get from this offense? Excuse me. Running back. Young at running back, too. Royce Freeman. I like the pick. They needed a running back. Is he going to make a huge impact right away, though? That's the big question. I don't know if he will, but he definitely got make the team better, mainly for the future, though. Offense line, towards the bottom of the league, you'd say it needs to stay healthy, needs to play better. But Garrett Bowles, good draft pick from a year ago. Does he step up more? So it's hard to predict what you're going to get from this offense. New quarterback in there, a young offensive line. Is it going to stay healthy? Really young everywhere. And you just don't know what you're going to get from your quarterback. I expect he'll be pretty solid, though. Looking at the defensive side, pretty solid defense. More than pretty solid, I think. You should expect them to be towards the top of the NFL in terms of defense performances. They won the Super Bowl a few years ago because of their defense. Is the defense as good as it was then? No, I don't think it is. So I don't think their defense really can single-handedly win them Super Bowl again. Their offense, I think, honestly got a little better, though. But obviously they got one of the best players in football in Von Miller out there still. They get Derek Wolfe back. That's great. They draft Bradley Chubb, maybe the best player in the draft. Only downside with him is I thought, even if getting drafted by a 3-4 team, I thought he would still play a DM position. But they're trying him at outside linebacker. Not that he can't do it. I think he'll be very good still. Just a little surprised. My take was he was going to play the end spot no matter what. Excellent pass rusher, but I thought he was a run stopper first. That's mainly why. Mainly his body type, he's very athletic for his size too, so that's why it's possible, and he's very talented overall, so that's why it's possible he can step out the outside linebacker. Maybe a Jadeveon Clowney situation there originally at that end spot, move back to outside linebacker, a little bit of a surprise. He's looking pretty good. Also a run stopper first, so I'm sure he'll be, as we expected, pretty darn good. But just something that surprised me a little bit. The secondary, pretty solid, but losing Talib, it's a pretty big loss. Even though Talib wasn't as good as he once was, I think it's still pretty big loss. I think the secondary, it is preseason. I don't overreact from preseason, but something I have noticed is I think the secondary is struggling a little bit, but nothing that I'm not saying because it happened in preseason it's going to happen. Not saying that at all, but secondary could get better. Some young talent there. Guys like Roby are going to have to step up. Yaedam from Boston College, the rookie, is he going to have to step up? So we'll see. But a very interesting team, the Broncos. Last year I actually predicted them to do very well. And they let me down a little bit. But we'll see. Let's get into the schedule here. In week 1 against the Seahawks. It's tough week 1. The Seahawks are a team that people are expecting to take a step down a little bit because of all the talent they lost. They still have their best player and maybe one of the best players in football in Russell Wilson. I think the Seahawks week 1 will be the better team. I think they'll be more prepared. It's going to be hard for them to slow down Russell Wilson enough. Still a learning experience from some new guys on this Broncos offense, so it may take some time. Week 2, home against the Raiders. I think the Raiders could step up this year. I think the offense can get going. A little bit of an interesting situation with Khalil Mack on the defensive side. They really need him because that defense has struggled too. I like the Broncos at home. I think their defense plays well enough to win the game here. And then week 3 in Baltimore. I did the Baltimore video pretty early on. Some things are changing since then. Lots, injuries, practice, preseason. So some things have changed a little bit going through these videos over the last few weeks. After all this, I'll maybe make my final predictions, one last final predictions. But I'm actually going to change my pick on this one. I'm feeling the Broncos now. The Ravens, they could be a solid team. Changing the offense a little bit. Maybe Flacco succeeds a little more. But they're kind of just a balanced team. They've been great on defense, but some of those guys are starting to age. The Broncos, I think, can play better defense than them in similar offense. So I think because the matchup, it's a similar team matchup here. But I think that even though it's in Baltimore, that's why it's really tough. But I'll take the Broncos. Very tough, though. Home against the Chiefs, Monday Night Football. The Chiefs are another very hard team. Some of these AFC West teams, what are you going to get from them? Chiefs, I think their defense will take a step down. I'm a little worried about that linebacker unit as a unit. Lost Marcus Peters. How that secondary play. Offense, you still got a young quarterback. I expected offense to be pretty good, though. But it's just hard to predict what you're going to get. And we went over the Broncos, similar situation. What are you going to get from that offense? Monday night in Denver might be tough, though. Division game. I would take the Broncos in that one. I think they'll be able to score, and they'll be able to play good enough defense in that one. Week 4, I got them winning. Week 5, in New York, the Jets are, I don't know who's going to start at quarterback. I think I'm predicting it to be Darnold because they do like him a lot. They took him 3rd overall, but, I really don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do. It's a different team no matter which quarterback's in there. I really think so. So I will take the Broncos in week 5. I think a low scoring game here. I think they have the edge. Week 6, home against the Rams. Like I mentioned, the Broncos game's defense, they may be able to slow down the Rams a little bit, but maybe not enough, and the Rams got a pretty solid defense over there to lead versus the Broncos game. I take the Rams. In Arizona, Thursday Night Football, week 7. Tough one. The Cardinals, another team. Who's going to be their quarterback? Going to be Bradford? Going to be Rosen? I don't know if it really matters that much. I prefer it to be Rosen because I don't want it to be Bradford and then he'll get hurt somewhere during the year. Then just throw Rosen in there. I don't know how I feel about that. They got some studs on defense. It's a good game. I think this is a pretty even matchup, honestly. I'll take. I think both teams that it's realistic they can struggle at times this year. I'll take Arizona at home in this one. I don't know if necessarily they're the better team, very close, but at home on Thursday night, I think that gives them the edge just for me here. Week 8 is in Kansas City. I don't have them going 2-0 against the Chiefs. Chiefs get offense rolling in this one. I think the offense, you expect them to get better and better as the season goes on. Big fan of Mahomes. He was my number 2 quarterback in that draft class, so I expect big things. How much can we expect right away? Week 9, home against the Texans. Did the Texans video. I'm actually sticking with my pick. A little bit of an upset. Take the Broncos at home. I think they get some good pass rush going in this one. Pressure Watson. And that could be the Texans. The Broncos' offensive line, not so great either, but that could be the problem with the Texans there. So I picked the Broncos for the matchup purposes there. Week 11 against the Chargers. They're in LA. I think the Chargers are the better team, and it's in LA, so I will take the Chargers. Week 12, they are home against the Steelers. I think I got to take the Steelers. There's going to be some upsets, maybe one like this, but it's very hard to predict against a team like the Steelers going against the Broncos. So I don't know. I'm sticking with the Steelers. Week 13 is in Cincinnati. Tough one. They got a tough stretch here, it looks like, from week 11 on. Cincinnati, I think, could be a solid team. I think they really could. I think pretty even teams. I think these two teams pretty even. I'll take the Bengals. Low-scoring game, Bengals win. Week 14 in San Francisco. Yeah, again, being away in this game, they're gonna win. They're gonna win some away games. Hard to pick out which ones, but being away sucks in this one. I'll take the Niners. Another team. What are we gonna get from Jimmy Garoppolo? Some people are very sure what they're gonna see from Garoppolo. I like him. Great end of the season. I was about to say end of the season. Went undefeated. Can he stay consistent? Can he stay accurate? Another team that we really don't know what we're going to get from. Solid team, good coaching. So I'll give them the edge in this Broncos game. Week 15, home against the Browns. I had them losing 4 straight. I guess that's tough to see. Tough stretch here, like I said, though. Saturday afternoon game there. I will take the Broncos in this one. Browns could surprisingly be pretty good. But if you look at their team, it shouldn't be that surprising. But so it's a very winnable game. But I'll take the Broncos. And then we got the Raiders Monday Night Football. I got the Raiders in this one. I have them splitting. I think splitting in this series, these two teams is very, very realistic. Look at week 2. Still some questions about the Raiders' defense with Khalil Mack. Their offense could win them that game, the Raiders, in week 2, but it's early and the Broncos are home, so I like that one. In week 16, I actually think the Raiders might be the slightly better team. So by week 16, a Monday night in Oakland, I will take the Raiders. So I'm pretty confident about that split. It's gonna start with that week 2, though. I guess the Raiders' offense could win that one. Week 17, Chargers and Broncos. This is tough. We're at 6-9, so I guess it really doesn't matter at this point. I can see, like I said, the Chargers are the better team. I don't know if they will split with every team, though. Every team in the division. I was going to pick the Broncos because it's a game I can see the Chargers losing. Another team, Chargers, very good team. What are we going to get from the beginning of the year? Are they going to, blow it against it? I can see it happening a little bit, but they're a very good team. It's tough. It's tough because the Chargers are going to need this win. They're a better team. In Denver, though, too much pressure for the Chargers, maybe. It's tough. I'm gonna take the Chargers. This could go either way. 7-9, 6-10. Whoa! I didn't know you can do a tie. I had no idea. No, I'm not predicting any ties this year. 6-9 is a little rough. Like I said, that Chargers game could go either way, but at this point, will it matter? Which teams will it matter for? Hard to predict. But going back and looking, week 1, they're home. Week 1, they could easily win that game. That game can go either way. I'm just confident about the Seahawks being more maybe ready. Russell Wilson, best player on the field. Going against Von Miller, best defensive player on the field. Could go either way. Week 2, like I said, the Raiders' offense could get going, and that one could win the game. Week 3, I did have the Ravens pick originally, so I gave them a win there. The Chiefs, it's going to be hard even to split with the Chiefs if their offense gets going. It depends on who the Jets are starting at quarterback. I don't see the Broncos winning week 6. Week 7 could go either way. I think pretty even teams, the factors being in Arizona on a Thursday night. I think I gave them the upset here against the Texans. I played the matchup game. So now looking at it, I thought 6-9 was pretty rough, but yeah, I think it's very realistic. Maybe they won't lose 4 in a row here. So I think we're looking at that. It's a big range for the Broncos. It's really on what are we going to get from Case Keenum. It's really what it's on. I think they can win 5 games. Honestly, we can go up to 9 wins possibly. So I think it's very realistic looking at 6 or 7 wins probably here. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that Broncos video. Subscriber goal is 10K subscribers, so please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click that like button as well. That'd be much appreciated to help us out. And we got more coming. Plenty more NFL coming leading up to the season and then during the season, so stay tuned for all that. Thanks for watching. That'll do it for this one. Goodbye.